This is my week 14 Business 115 final project. I created a budget and ledger. It took me about 45 hours to create the project. I made an instruction sheet at the beginning of the workbook. Uh, you can see only yellow cells are input cells. There are 5 pages, 4 steps after resetting the workbook. After reviewing the examples in the workbook, you can reset it at the bottom of the daily page. We'll go through each sheet. The category sheet is step 1. You can see all the yellow cells. They are all inputs. You'll need to set those up, leave them the same, or change them based on the needs of your receipts and your budget. There are several categories. You may have more, you may have less. You obviously will have different ones, but you'll need to set that up. The way that that category list is set up will reflect upon your daily page in your categories. It will reflect on your monthly page in your categories. It will also affect the drop down list for your category on your receipts page. The category sheet again is one of the most important sheets of the workbook because it will determine the setup of all the other following pages. Second step is go to the month sheet. We'll go to the month sheet and see what yellow input boxes we have. We'll have the month and the year. We'll have a prior month year to date if we have one. You probably won't have one with the first month. Each additional month you can find it in one of 2 places. You can find it at the bottom of the sheet with your year-to-date balance, or you can find it on the overview page again with the year-to-date balance. Back to the monthly sheet, you'll put in the pay dates as you have them weekly or bi-weekly. You'll put in your pay dates. You'll put in the amount of each paycheck, again weekly or bi-weekly, up to 5 pay periods in a month. You'll put in your budget numbers. The categories again are set up based on the category sheet. Enter the budget numbers that you want for your budget. You can track those at the bottom to see where you're at. And the calculated total budget that will change as you input your numbers. Also found on the overview sheet, total entered budget. The next sheet is the daily sheet. It appears there's only one input box. We'll input the date, the first of the month. After we have reset the sheet, we'll need to enter the first of the month each month. The receipt sheet is your actual ledger. You'll need to enter the date of your receipt, the payment type of the receipt. Here's some examples. The total of the receipt. You'll select the category of the receipt. Again, categories are set up based on the category sheet. This drop down list will reflect that exactly. You may have receipts that have more than one category. You'll need to break down the receipt by your categories. For example, a Walmart receipt, you may have clothes, groceries, and HBA personal on it. So you'll need to break down each of those 3 categories and put in the category amount for each category as you break down your receipt. The payees, of course, is who you made the payments to. The monthly receipt total will help you keep track of all of your monthly running expenses. That can also be found on the month page. You can see where expenses are broke down by each category and your total expenses versus budget columns. You can see where your expenses are and where they are against your budget. Total expenses, total budget, the difference. Negative is under budget. For example, in the car payment column, we were $10 under budget based on the numbers we put in. That could be true, that could be a mistake. So anything that you know exactly what the payment will be, if you see a difference, you may have made a mistake in one of your input boxes. The overview tab, no input boxes. They're all based on calculations from other sheets. make sure that you save the workbook to a folder before you're clicking the reset button on the daily sheet. At the bottom of the daily sheet is the reset button. This will reset your workbook, all your numbers. The categories will not be reset. They're only changed when you do it manually. That way you don't need to change them each month. Your categories will stay the same, and you're working with the same categories so that you know exactly what you're working with. Again, we have the overview, no input boxes. The month, input boxes, input box, input boxes in yellow, and your budget will be input. The daily sheet will need to enter the date. The receipt sheet are where all of your receipts will be entered. You can do it weekly, daily, as you have expenditures. It's completely up to you, but this is your ledger, and your money will be tracked accordingly based on how you input it. The category sheet, again, all input will not be changed with the reset, and determines what the rest of your workbook will look like.